Hey friends, I have an important update for you that just recently, the Marion County Health Department, so the county in which we practice, they have made it abundantly clear that if we don't comply to a T with their mandates, that they have the full authority and they will enact this authority to close our business. I tell you this not out of complaint, and I tell you this not because I want you to feel sorry for our business. I tell you this because I believe this has been an attack on not only natural health care, but the belief that the body is intelligent, that's intelligently designed. The attack is revealing the nature and the spirit behind the mandates. What do I mean by that? If you believe that your body is innately intelligent, if you believe that the strength of the host matters so much more than the strength of the virus, if you believe that covering your face over your nose and your mouth will have an impact on your health, whether it's immediately or long term, if you believe that putting a face covering over your face signals a message that you don't agree with, if you believe any of those things, well, friends, we're losing our rights. We're losing them slowly. This public health order across not just the Midwest, not just California, not New York, it's sweeping across the country, has very little to do with the real concern over the public's health. Think about this. We're perpetuating the idea that in order to stop the spread of a virus, that we need to cover our noses, cover our mouths, and social distance. Yet the real question is, if I inoculated an entire room of 100 people, and I inoculated that room with COVID-19, we know that some people within that room would get the virus and become infected with the virus and become a spreader of the virus, and then some people would not. The question that needs to be asked, that's not being asked, is how come one person gets it versus one person does not? Why is it that one person is more likely to become infected with a virus when one person is not? What's the difference between those people? How do they live? What do they do? The current public health initiatives are ignoring that fact and pretending like it is random chance or bad luck why one becomes infected. We're pretending that masks and social distancing is the answer to a sick population. We're forgetting, intentionally or not, that the comorbidities such as heart disease and diabetes and obesity, that they play no role or very little role in a person's likelihood of becoming infected and spreading. We're forgetting these things. And yet the job of the natural health practitioners and the job of those who have a belief, a strong belief in the body's innate ability to heal, their voices are being silenced. Their ability to practice is becoming more and more limited. They're being forced to get behind something that doesn't make sense, and that's something that will deeply violate their belief that fear, anxiety, depression plays a direct role in the immune system's ability to function and work the way that it's supposed to. Forcing small businesses to spend precious energy and resources trying to police this mandate is something that is not reasonable. The facts don't justify the measures being taken. The numbers do not justify these measures. Friends, I'm asking you to stand with me when it comes to standing up for your rights, standing up for your freedom. They are slowly being removed, and if it's not this point where we take a stand, where is the line in the sand that we take a stand? We can't wait for our friends or our neighbors to stand up. This is now our responsibility. We cannot defer responsibility when it comes to taking a stand. This is not about my rights. This is not about your rights. It's collectively about emergency measures that have now lasted way longer than they should have lasted. And it's given emergency powers to those who can't be entrusted with emergency powers. This is a slippery slope that, if it continues, will lead to not only mandated masks and face coverings, but this will lead to mandated medicine. Look at California. Healthcare workers in all facilities in California will be required to get the flu shot this year. That means if you're an employee, not just a nurse, if you're an employee of a healthcare facility in California, you will be required to have a flu shot. Those in natural health in California got to notice that everyone in the practice who is an employee will be required to get the flu shot this year. That's within chiropractic. That's within natural health. When I say this is an attack on natural health, just get ready, because it is. This is not just in California. It's not just in New York. It's not just in my state. It's not just in my business. This is affecting all of us, and it will affect all of us even more if we don't take a stand. StandForHealthFreedom.com. They've got a campaign up right now that allows you, with just a click of a button, reach out to your representative. And you might say, hey, that's not doing a whole lot. Well, when you combine that with lawsuits that are to come and that are starting to happen, and those of us who are part of coalitions in our towns are starting to raise the money, because it does take a lot of money to be able to have a voice and take a stand. So you combine you doing your part with raising your voice, making your voice be known, reaching out to your representatives, letting them know your frustration that these mandates, these emergency procedures, these emergency powers, that they have to be limited and that they must have a time limit on them. Because if we're just testing the general population for a virus and we're looking at the positivity rate, not the mortality rate, well, we can do that with just about any virus. Remember that our body is made up, 43% of our body is made up of microbes and viruses. And so if we were to test the general population, let's just say for cancer right now, we'd find a lot of people who unknowingly had cancer cells within their body. The same thing with varicella, the same thing with many of the viruses that are within the human body. And so if we know that, well, then they can do this with just about any virus, with just about any health concern that's to come in the future. And so we must take a stand right now. You reach out, standforhealthfreedom.com, and join the campaign there, but also personally share this with your friend, with your neighbor, with whoever else is in your immediate friend group. Maybe it's your family. You share this message, but also help them to take a stand. Lead them to standforhealthfreedom.com and help that person take a stand. Remember, we're in this together. My personal business, we probably lost this individual battle. Yes, we're going to stay open. We have to comply to stay open so that we continue to have leadership and reach and influence in our community. But that's not the war. You know, we know there's more to come. We're going to draw a line in the sand and we're going to pick our battle. The hill that we're going to die on is not the hill of masks, but we take a stand. We do this together, but we got to continue to make our voices be known. The swelling up, if you will, of the voices has to continue to grow. And again, we cannot be a silent majority, because the silent majority stays on the sidelines as the agenda gets moved forward. Friends, this is not the typical positive and uplifting message that I would like to give. This is not necessarily the tone that I would like to have. But in this time, in at least my life, I feel like we've got to stand up and we have to buckle down. We have to turn off the media. We have to join forces, band together. And in your circle of influence and my circle of influence, we've got to rally the troops now. Because it's not going to stop with a mask. It's not going to stop with a flu shot. It's going to continue to happen if we let it happen. So let's stand up together. Go to Stand for Health Freedom. Let's stay connected. Let's help more and more people to become awake, get woken up to the reality of the current situation, and help them to see the truth. This is Dr. Nick Wilson. You can still find me, facebook.com/AskDrWilson, Instagram, Ask Dr. Wilson, right on there. Follow the information. There'll be more to come as the social media accounts increasingly become censored. We're going to have to figure that out and navigate that. Podcasts typically aren't as censored, so this is a great way to get just the raw information that's unfiltered directly to your podcast. So anywhere where podcasts are played, you can also find us on YouTube, Dr. Nick Wilson, right there on YouTube. Hey, make it a great rest of your day and be intentional about making this a great rest of your life for you, but also your kids, and also your grandchildren. Let's be intentional about that. StandForHealthFreedom.com. Look forward to connecting with you across all platforms.